Just ahead on American Black Journal, Detroit's QLine moves into its next phase after providing hundreds of thousands of free rides. Plus, we'll meet the winners of this year's Hatch Detroit Business Contest. Stay right there. American Black Journal starts now.
American Black Journal is funded by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, a partner with communities where children come first.
How does diversity bring energy to us all? At DTE Energy, we believe that it's the contributions of all that build great communities. As a company, we grow stronger by welcoming the unique perspectives of everyone. As community members, we support our state's broad culture and heritage. From working closely with women and minority-owned suppliers to embracing our local cultures, DTE Energy is powering diversity. The DTE Energy Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit Public Television. Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
For Fun gave me a scholarship to help me attend Eastern Michigan University. I developed a passion for engineering at an early age. It started off with something as simple as fixing bikes. I didn't know anything about a bike shop or where I could go to get it fixed, so I just kind of had to play around with it myself. You can't really do everything on your own, so with even the smallest amount of help, just a little push, it can get you to where you need to be.
Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. After providing free rides all summer, Detroit's new QLine is now charging passengers. The 4-month promotion gave M1 Rail the chance to improve service on the streetcar system based on feedback from riders. As a result, wait times have been reduced and the QLine's predicted arrival times are more accurate. Over 500,000 free rides were given away since May, and last month, ridership averaged more than 5,500 people a day. Joining me now is the COO of M1 Rail, Paul Childs, along with the VP of External Operations, Summer Woods. Welcome back to American Black Journal, both.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I guess we did this 2 years ago. They told me. I don't remember it, but whatever. Welcome back. But at least now we have something specific to talk about. The train is up and it's running. Talk about how this week has gone with the debut of charging for rides.
It went well. I guess we'd have to say that our biggest single surprise was that some of the public was surprised that we were charging.
Yeah.
We thought we got the message out, but apparently not everybody was reading or paying attention.
Right?
Yeah, right. So we should have done a little bit better job with that. But aside from that, just finishing up with the Jazz Fest, which was a big change for us and for everybody, and we understand that. Coming into operations on Tuesday morning, our early morning ridership was definitely caught off guard.
Is that right?
And then I think one of the things that Summer had done in her plan was to put ambassadors out on each one of the cars to help to help not necessarily enforce anything, but it was more to use all of the equipment.
Here's how it works.
Here's how it works. Right. Here's what you have to do.
Yeah.
And by the time we got them out there, I think people got the message a lot quicker.
Yeah.
They were out there with their QLine shirts on, and we sent out a good message, and we kept them out there till the evening. So.
Yeah. The ridership so far is higher, I think, than we predicted it would be, but there have been some glitches with times and trains running on time. Talk about the things that you guys learned about that and tried to adapt to over the last 6 months.
So we learned a lot, actually, with all of the social media and phone calls and people, definitely letting us know how they feel about operations. We feel it's important to have a good product so that people can understand transit from a holistic perspective.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a little bit earlier as it relates to just the Regional Transit Authority. For people to really believe in transit, they have to be able to see it, to believe it, to trust in it. And that's what we want to do with this particular project. And we've been able to do that through, just a lot of different things. The operators, the drivers, for them to get acclimated to people and those types of things. All that makes a difference in terms of how we've made a lot of different improvements.
Yeah. The wait times for the train, initially people were pretty exercised about that. Talk about what you've done to try to bring those wait times down.
So we've done a couple of different things. One is that we have more streetcars in rotation. We have a better gauge as it relates to when our ridership numbers are actually where they are and where they stand.
Which is something you couldn't have predicted,
absolutely.
Right? You had to wait to see.
You had to see what the people wanted and what the demand was.
Yeah.
Obviously, the comfortability of our operators, for them to feel comfortable in terms of actually, driving and making sure they're within the speed limit and getting to those stops. And then also as it relates to, if we don't have to stop, then we don't need to stop. We're able to proceed on and try to gain some headway that way as well. But now it's a lot more efficient because everyone's feeling more comfortable as well.
Yeah. So I have a great idea about how to make the QLine work perfectly and more efficiently. I think we should, and I'm dead serious about this, I think there should not be car traffic on Woodward south of Grand Circus Park. Because that's where the street narrows. I see both of you laughing, but that's where the street narrows, and that's where the negotiation between the train and the cars are getting around Campus Martius and stuff like that. That's where it seems to bog down a bit. Everyone I say this to laughs at me and says, "You're insane. You'll never get that done." But it does seem like creating a more walkable downtown is one of the things that might help the train. Do you think that's right?
Stephen, I think you got to smile because we've had this conversation.
Have you had a seat?
Yes, we have. We've had this conversation. So
great minds think alike.
You have a career in transit, right? Whenever you're open to it.
Right.
But yeah, we've had that conversation, and it is difficult once you get inside the 4 lanes downtown.
Yeah.
And again, if you saw what happened like during Jazz Fest with all the programming that goes on down there, it's not, even if we weren't there.
Right.
Motor vehicle traffic is difficult. Pedestrian traffic, it's difficult. It's very, very hard for everybody.
Yeah.
So it is a tight area. And we've worked with all of our partners. We worked with the city and the state, all right, in terms of the mobility issues. And there's more discussions on it every day.
Yeah.
Because the city's learning. One of the things that we said early on now is that we have to learn what our customers want.
Yeah.
But the customers also have to learn to interact with us.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first time in, 60 years, that we've had to think about the idea of train traffic on a major street like Woodward. Let's talk about the future. I predicted when the line opened, I said pretty soon after that, we would likely see, I think the Jefferson line is the one that makes the most sense next, getting out to Grosse Pointe. How soon is something like that likely to start being discussed here in Detroit?
That's a decision I think that really rests if we can get a regional piece put through first, get the RTA put in place. They've got a master plan. And that'll obviously be voted on by the public at the next referendum. From our perspective, we always wanted to be a catalyst. We always wanted to be a demonstration project, and also functional for the entire community. One of the things I tell people is as soon as they pick a route, then I kind of ask them where they live, and it's amazing how where they live and where the next route should be aligned.
Right. See,
I like Jefferson.
That's shocking, right?
Jefferson is great. I live across the street from Belle Isle.
Yeah, right. I'm surprised to learn that.
I was voting on Michigan Avenue.
Yeah, is that right?
And there's other people.
See,
who vote on
I live on Woodward, so I'm already taken care of.
You're good. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Summer, talk about one of the things that we expected from this was, of course, the sort of spin-off, right? The stations themselves and the line would get people excited about doing other things in Detroit. And, it's early, right? We've only had a couple months. My observation as someone who lives down there is that there is more foot traffic all hours of the day, in fact, than we had before. How much of that do you think is about the QLine? I mean, did you guys make that much of a difference that quickly?
Yeah, I think for some businesses, they definitely have seen the return of their investment, their locations. I mean, you have, surprisingly, I think everyone knew Congress was going to be a popular spot because it's downtown. Yeah. But the Boulevard, Grand Boulevard is a popular spot. Yeah. You have a lot of people that are obviously, parking is probably a little less expensive up that way. Yeah. But you also have people that are kind of starting to move out of the arteries. But Canfield is a very popular hot spot. Yes, because you'll notice when people get off at the Canfield stop, yes, you do have a brewery that's right there. Right. But you'll see a lot of people walking to Cass and to Third. I mean, you see a little bit more activity. So that's like they're right there with Congress actually in terms of our numbers. I mean, it's not too far off in terms of boarding and unboarding at Canfield. Yeah. So it's a popular stop.
One of the criticisms is also that these trains break down, that the system would be unreliable. That other cities have had a hard time with similar systems. Cincinnati, I think, is one of the cities that ran into trouble. How much of that has come true so far?
So I will tell you that our vehicles have been exceedingly reliable. The battery operation has exceeded our expectations. When we designed the system, we were 60% off wire. We're operating 80% off wire.
And when you say off wire, that means
on batteries. So we're not reaching up and grabbing the can.
Right.
So 80% of the route, even during the festivals and whatnot, we can still do that. It's been an amazing challenge, okay, in order to make all of that work, and it speaks to where the technology is at today, and it can even go further.
Yeah.
So our car availability has been great. Probably one of the biggest things that we struggle with in explaining to people is if something's blocking our tracks.
And that's happened a couple times that I've seen.
A lot.
Yeah,
right?
It does.
Because Detroiters are used to I'm only going to be a minute.
Right. I'm just going to stop. Right?
I'm just going to go in. Right? I'll be right back out. I'm picking up whatever I'm going to pick up, or I'm going to drop somebody off. And when you're trying to run 5 cars, if you think about it, almost in a circle, if you stop one, right, you really need to think about slowing down
everything
the other
else
4.
Has to,
Otherwise, we bunch up. And so that's probably our single biggest piece that we have to deal with is track blockages.
But in comparison to other cities, though, ironically, when we first started in our launch, unlike other cities, we didn't have as many issues of car blockage. And I think a lot of that is because we were testing for so long.
People got used
that people did get used to it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's exciting to have it downtown. Let's hope this is the beginning of a much brighter transit future for the whole region. So,
we agree
congratulations.
With that. Thank you. Yeah.
Let's get that Jefferson line going and the Michigan line going at the same time. How about that? How about that?
Good. Right?
Okay.
Perfect.
Up next, East African refugees take the top prize in this year's Comerica Hatch Detroit contest. But first, we continue our look at the Detroit Historical Society's Detroit 67 Oral History Project. Here's Judge Damon Keith.
The city was burning up, and Henry Ford II got the CEOs of General Motors and Chrysler and all the top people involved in saying that we've got to do something about this. But Joe, as you remember, in one of the first meetings, it came up, I've forgotten who said it, but they say we've been talking to the wrong black people in this community. And I remarked, and I think Art Johnson, you haven't been talking to the wrong people. You haven't been listening to us. We told you about police brutality. We told you about poor housing. We told you about unemployment. We told you about the educational system in the city. And this has just all exploded. You just haven't been listening. But don't say you haven't been talking to the right people. So it was very interesting. You remember that, Joe? That was a heated argument in that place at that time. And you were chairing the meeting. And we had to get that straight because Reverend Clegg and these radical people were burning this. They said, let's burn the city down. And so we had to explain through New Detroit that you've got to listen to what people have been saying. And I think it was Henry Ford that told all these CEOs, corporate CEOs, that when we have meetings now in New Detroit, we want you to come and not any representative from your company.
Every year, the Comerica Hatch Detroit contest provides funding, education, and mentoring for a unique business idea. This year's winner beat out more than 160 other entrepreneurs to capture the $50,000 top prize. The money will be used to establish an East African restaurant, market, and juice bar. I'm pleased to have the married couple behind the winning idea on the show today, Nadia Nijimberi and Hamisi Mamba. Also here is the executive director of Hatch Detroit, Victoria Katansky. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I will call you Mamba, as you say that everyone does, right? So that I don't butcher your name again during the show. Victoria, this is one of my favorite things in Detroit. This is one of my favorite contests. We have lots of things like this around, but I mean, it really is about identifying that interesting idea that somebody has, but they just don't maybe have that the resources to get it going. And if I think of some of the past winners of this, I mean, they're some of my favorite spots in Detroit. You guys pick good winners.
I know, we're really pleased about that. I think it gives everybody a unique opportunity to kind of get their product out there in the spotlight. Mm-hmm. So even, our winners, this is our 7th winner now, but we've had almost 30 businesses that have opened up in some form since coming through the contest. Yeah. And we really do, and I'm making even more of an effort to work harder with the top 10 year after year to get them open. Yeah. So capitalizing on that excitement that's around them being a part of this.
Yeah. So let's go back to before we had this contest. Mm-hmm. What was it about this idea that made you think, hey, this could actually make a difference in Detroit? What was it about the money, or was it about other things? Connection with other people who were doing their business ideas, or connection with people who've been in business for a while. I mean, talk
it's
about
really
how this
all of
comes
that.
together.
The $50,000 prize is considerable, and we're very thankful for Comerica Bank for sponsoring it. Yeah. But the true, it's a combination of not only that money, but them winner being able to leverage that money for additional funding. Mm-hmm. And it's also about the popularity and getting some confidence in your idea through the public support. It's also becoming a part of a family that you now have a support group of people that can help you through, because the lifeline of small business is difficult, and you're going to need certain support throughout the way. Yeah. We constantly check in with our alums and keep that going forward. It's also the pro bono services, like the legal support and the architectural support that's being given to them, and then just the general mentoring. Yeah. I think the biggest thing about our contest that we're really pleased about is it's focused on walkability in Detroit's neighborhoods and really providing access to residents to good independent retail. And to me, that's incredibly important because, you don't need another McDonald's or something like that. Right. What we really do need is to have something that makes keeps Detroit unique. Yeah. Yeah.
So East African refugees with a business idea win the contest to get the $50,000 in Detroit. It's a really great narrative, right? Talk first about your idea, what it is, where it is, and then we'll talk more about the contest. Nadia?
My idea, first of all, let me talk how I get here in US.
Sure,
US.
Yeah, how you came to the country, right?
I came here in 2013. Mm-hmm. I was in Freedom House since June 2013. Mm-hmm. I just discovered I was pregnant with twins. Wow. I left behind my husband, which was not really easy for me. I got in Freedom House. It was not easy to live in Freedom House as shelter, but I found another family to me. Freedom House did everything I could get.
It's one of my favorite institutions in Detroit, just the way that they bring people who are often from countries where they have conflict with one another into the same place, and everybody just sort of bonds together.
Yeah, for sure they give me the second chance, So as things going on, after 2 years and 6 months, my husband came. I got my kids in Freedom House. He came, they were almost 2 years, which was not easy, but possible. Yeah. So we got this idea once he came. We started working. I was a caregiver. He was in factory. We did, we missed something here in Detroit. Yeah. Once we get our asylum, we were like, we need to do something, dream big, something which not easy to do, but possible. And then we start thinking about how we can bring our African food. Yeah.
So it's a restaurant, a market, and juice bar. Where is it going to be located?
We are working hard to find a location, which is not easy to find a place where you can have the combination of market, JOSPA, and
sure.
So we are working hard. Hatch Detroit is they are helping us a lot to find a place, and I think this wanna be unique. So we don't wanna rush. We wanna do something good for the community, for the city. So that's why we work hard and we think deeply.
Yeah, yeah. When you think about the opportunity to do this in a city like Detroit, and as you say, a place that you got to as a by way of sanctuary, really, talk about how meaningful that is to be able to open a business here in this city. Yeah,
to open a business in Detroit, as Victoria said, we went through the contest of Hatch Detroit. When we started, we didn't realize what where we are and what we are facing. You know, every step is hard, and at the moment you are inside, you can't get out. So you keep going, and this. I think the contest for me and for us was not only 50,000. For us, 50,000 is money, but they build up the confidence because the stress was high and the time was short. And we did everything so there was like, today you are in the next step, so you have to do this tomorrow. So almost 10 hours you have to do everything. So went through that stress was built up a lot of this. So now we feel like we can do everything, and be in front of judges and talk and respond and talk about your business. Something not easy. And then another thing is I want to talk about all from the semi-final. We were 25 businesses up to 10. So all the 10 businesses, if you see them, they are incredible. They are very strong. In the 4 finalists, they was so smart. If you see their businesses and how they are, how they work, they are doing is incredible. And that we say, so that moment that give you the responsibilities to win the contest. So we say, oh my goodness, I won with these guys. So it's incredible. I mean, it's great to sit and listen to them tell that story. And like I said, I know some former Hatch winners. It's sort of the same narrative that it does give them this confidence.
Yeah, I know it's a very hard process, but I think that it's necessary because owning your own business is hard, and you're going to have those quick turnarounds and things. And of course, it's not identical to owning a business, but it does kind of force you to ask yourself, do I really want to put this effort in every day for the rest of my time? And some people have gone through the contest and decided, no, it's not for them. But they're still really good advocates of ours and of the cities and of our alums, so it's a good thing. But we've never had our winners have gone through. Some of them have had a spot, some of them have not. We always really work hard with them to find the best location for what their business is.
And as you say, the idea is probably to put it in a neighborhood, right? Where
our size business really fits best in a neighborhood. We do have some that are in Midtown and downtown. And those are for different purposes and reasons, but I think with the size of business that usually is going in and with the cost of space now and how it's changed in the last 7 years, neighborhoods are the best location.
The other finalists, as you say, you guys work with them as well to try to help them out.
We do. In fact, I had a meeting this morning with one of our people, but by next week we'll be all getting feedback from the judges and determine kind of an action plan on where they need us. And they're all in varied stages. So it's really, we have to tailor how much they want our support and how much they don't,
Okay, well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We'll look forward to you finding a location and opening, and I will be among your first customers.
Thank you so much.
How about that? And congratulations again on Hatch Detroit.
Yeah, this Thursday we have a pop-up, so you are very welcome.
So I can of course go see the pop-up. I will do that. Okay, that's our program for today. Thanks for joining. For more information about today's guests, you can visit AmericanBlackJournal.org. And as always, you can connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll see you next time.
American Black Journal is funded by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, a partner with communities where children come first.
How does diversity bring energy to us all? At DTE Energy, we believe that it's the contributions of all that build great communities. As a company, we grow stronger by welcoming the unique perspectives of everyone. As community members, we support our state's broad culture and heritage. From working closely with women and minority-owned suppliers to embracing our local cultures, DTE Energy is powering diversity. The DTE Energy Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit Public Television. Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
For Fun gave me a scholarship to help me attend Eastern Michigan University. I developed a passion for engineering at an early age. It started off with something as simple as fixing bikes. I didn't know anything about a bike shop or where I could go to get it fixed, so I just kind of had to play around with it myself. You can't really do everything on your own, so with even the smallest amount of help, just a little push, it can get you to where you need to be.